Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk is on, we think. We hope. Saudi Arabia finally coughed up enough money to make Tyson Fury take a hard fight. Well in Saudi Arabia. You've saved my club, you've saved boxing. Amazing. Is there anything these people can't do? And this ironically was confirmed the same day Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder collapsed. Because why? They're waiting on Saudi money. You know, these are two guys with no belts, with no reason to avoid each other, who could fight anywhere. And people would watch it. But they're holding out now for Saudi money. And this is becoming a gift and a curse because, yes, we're getting the mega fight. The only way we'd get Fury in there with Usyk is for insane amounts of money. He did not want to take that fight. But what it now means is other fighters are just holding out, even when they don't even have belts. But look, thank God we got it. And the funny thing is Tyson Fury is barely being believed about this announcement still. Like, people are like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it on the ring walk. This is the result of you being the biggest bullshitter in all of sports. So now when you do announce a fight, no one believes it anyway, because you've said that much shit throughout your life that we don't trust you. But I do believe this is going to happen now. I seen a journalist say, oh, this was Fury's plan all along. You all fell for it. You really thought he was going to fight John Jones after fighting Francis Ngannou. That was just a talk. He was always going to do this and you fell for it. That might be true. Or he was going to take the easiest fights possible, as he's been doing, and Saudi Arabia came in and put a bag on the table like a choke a fucking elephant and said, if we give you this, will you fight Usyk then? Will you take the risk then? Yeah, go on then. That's what happened. You can't rewrite history now that Fury's taken this fight when he's been offered too much money to say no. He has not been a good champion. He has not defended against the best. He has deliberately chosen the easiest opponent, and he had no intention of taking this fight unless he was paid too much to say no. We all know that. Remember when he got on the ring and he was like, Joe Joyce, Oleksandr Usyk, I'll have either of you. He then fought neither. Both of those guys were way harder than the two guys he did fight. That being said, if he goes in there and beats Oleksandr Usyk, he will then have a very strong claim for being the best fighter of his generation. And I'd never take that away from him, even though I dislike him. The truth is in the ring. And to me, Usyk is the best that he could fight. That does not mean there isn't anyone else that could also beat him, because I'm a big believer in styles make fights, and he might just be a good style against Usyk. That's why defending champions are supposed to defend against the rest of the top 10. And sometimes one guy who got beat off a guy who Fury beat will actually be able to beat Fury. But people just ignore that. But I will give credit to Fury if he beats Usyk. And I am going to give credit to him right now for taking the Usyk fight. I'm delighted we're finally going to get some order restored to this circus of a heavyweight division where fighters consistently avoid each other. And I hope that this encourages Eddie Hearn, AJ and Deontay Wilder to sit down and go, what the fuck are we doing right now? Because we're going to miss another boat here. Because after Usyk and Fury is over, well, they're going to need someone to fight the winner. And if AJ or Wilder goes and stakes a claim for that fight, let's say AJ beats Wilder and Fury beats Usyk, you've then got another mega fight to be had. And if Eddie Hearn doesn't get on his job right now, he could miss that. One thing that is interesting is, what did Tyson Fury say in Usyk to finally put pen to paper? You know, Usyk dominated Daniel Dubois, but there was that low blow that dropped Usyk. Some people said it was on the belt, yada, yada, yada. It was a low blow, but regardless, we finally seen Usyk in pain, on the floor, struggling. Did that give Fury the confidence to finally nut up and get up and fucking go for this guy? Maybe. Fury is a lot like Floyd Mayweather in that he is careful with how he selects his opponents, and he's patient. He doesn't go out there and fight the guy when they're ripping through people. He waits to see, all right, I need someone to put a hole in this guy and actually show me some vulnerabilities here. And I wonder if, in watching the Daniel Dubois fight, he's seen something there. Statistically, Usyk did throw less punches in that fight. Maybe he thinks the pace of Usyk is getting a little bit more manageable, because if you look at the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight when it went 12 rounds and Fury knocked him out in the final round, and compare that to Anthony Joshua versus Usyk fights, Usyk threw twice as many punches as Tyson Fury did. If you're going to go in there and try and outbox Usyk, that's a problem. To beat Usyk, you want to have multiple avenues to beat him. And for me, if a guy's throwing twice as many punches as you and has the evasive technique of Usyk to avoid punches, you're going to have to knock him out, because he is going to outscore you. He racks rounds up quickly. And for me, in Fury's recent fights, he's looked a little slower, not faster. All right, yeah, he knocked out White and Chisora got stopped, but in the rounds leading up to that, I wasn't blown away by any stretch stretch of the imagination. And look, it makes sense that he's doing a camp right now for Francis Ngannou so that he can get one fight out the way, then tune up for the next fight immediately after so that he'll be in tip-top shape come December 23rd. And wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if Francis Ngannou just wrecked everyone's plans and decked Tyson Fury in his first ever boxing match? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would celebrate so hard because in boxing, there's poetry. It happens all the time where greed stops big fights from happening, and then you take what you think is an easier fight, you get fucked up, and before you know it, the big money fight that you thought you had waiting for you is out the fucking window. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a classic example of that. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, don't get me wrong, but I'd love it to, just to really throw a spanner in the works. It would be fucking hilarious because Ngannou is just a cash grab. That is all that is. And Fury would fully deserve losing his biggest money payday of them all because of his greed. And even then, he's still going to make a shitload against Ngannou, but just the poetry of that would be great. And it really just shows what the Ngannou fight is. The fact that they are making Fury's title fight for after Ngannou, before the Ngannou fight takes place, shows they are not even taking Ngannou seriously. This is just an exhibition. And I kind of feel for Francis here, because this really cuts his balls off in terms of him being viewed as a threat, which is bizarre, by the way. I know boxing fans look at him like he's just a big, strong guy. He doesn't know how to box. When Francis Ngannou's in a room, he's used to being the most feared man in that room at all times. I don't care who the fuck is in the room with him. So for him to be belittled because this little, like, much lighter than him Ukrainian guy is viewed as the bigger threat, it's weird, man. It's so funny. But for Tyson Fury, this is a win-win-win because he gets to basically show to everyone, I'm not afraid, I'm not running from Usyk, I'm taking the fight now. So that silences people to some degree, potentially becoming undisputed champion of the world, which then proves he is that guy of this generation, providing he defends it, because he still has to defend it a few times, against top challengers, not just anyone he fancies, by the way. And then most importantly to him of all, he'll make over 100 million in the next 12 months. Bish, bash, bosh. Tyson Fury has opened up as the betting favourite over Oleksandr Usyk, and I understand, like, he's had some great wins, he's the much bigger guy, he is very skillful, people believe he will just find a way because he can fight in multiple styles, and the fact is, he's so much bigger, he is gonna hit harder than Usyk does. However, Oleksandr Usyk is quicker than Tyson Fury in the hands, he's quicker feet, he's got good technique, potentially better than Fury, he's a southpaw, which Fury struggled with before. He's also light on his feet, which Fury has struggled with before with previous cruiserweights who've moved up to heavyweight. He's a ring technician. He is undefeated and hasn't had even the closeness of fights that Fury has with Deontay Wilder, for example. He's swept aside the competition. All right, he's lost a few rounds here and there, but he's not been struggling the way Fury has to get up before. That being said, he's never fought a puncher like Deontay Wilder. So there's a lot to unpack with this, and I think the fact that Usyk is an underdog, there's definitely some value on the betting side for that. But before we even unpack this, we've got months to do that. I'm looking forward to the mind games, because if there's one thing that Fury is usually really good at, it's the mind games, and I don't think he has made Usyk flinch 1 inch, maybe just a pinch. When they were on the ring, when they had that moment where Fury was challenging him, and Fury's giving it, oh, your gap tooth and all of this rubbish. Don't forget mental health awareness. Usyk didn't seem fazed one bit. And when the negotiations were going on, Fury did everything he could to move the goalposts, and Usyk was the hunter, not the hunted. I'm going to be really interested that when Fury starts performing his circus act bullshit in press conferences, I don't think Usyk will be bothered in the slightest, because Usyk is potentially even more eccentric than what Fury is. And if you can't shake this man mentally, you're going to have to do it with your fists. It's just going to be fantastic to watch this. So, look, as much as I've given Fury stick, and rightly so, because I'm not going to have this narrative perpetuated that he was always going to fight Usyk, and it ain't about the money. Bullshit. The money is what got this done, but thank fuck it did. Let me know your early thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your guys' analysis there. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the Pain Game YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.